Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for. You've been searching in the dark, your sweat soaking through the floor. And buried in your bones, there's an ache that you can't ignore. Taking your breath, stealing your mind, and all that was real is left behind. Don't fight it, it's coming for you, running at you. It's only this moment, don't care what comes after. Your fever dream, can't you see, getting closer? Just surrender, cause you feel the feeling taking over. It's fire, it's freedom, it's flooding open. It's the preacher and the pulpit and your blinded motion. There's something breaking at the brink of every wall that's holding all that you know. So tell me, do you wanna go where it's covered in all the colored lights, where the runaways are running the night? Impossible comes true, it's taking over you. This is the greatest show. We light it up, we won't come down, and the sun can't stop us now. Watching it come true, it's taking over you. This is the greatest show. Colossal we come, these renegades in the ring, where the lost get found and we crown them the circus kings. Don't fight it, it's coming for you, running at you. It's only this moment, don't care what comes after. It's blinding, outshining anything that you know. Just surrender, cause you're coming and you wanna go where it's covered in all the colored lights, where the runaways are running the night. Impossible comes true, intoxicating you. This is the greatest show. We light it up, we won't come down, and the sun can't stop us now. Watching it come true, it's taking over you. This is the greatest show. Where it's covered in all the colored lights, where the runaways are running the night. Impossible comes true, it's taking over you. This is the greatest show. We light it up, we won't come down, and the walls can't stop us now. Watching it come true, it's taking over you. This is the greatest show. This is the greatest show. Coming to you live on the air.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome back to the dark side of the podcast. Thank you. It's going to be a weird one, man. We haven't done a Saturday in a while. And you know what I love about the Saturday spell? I have to do these sober. I'm completely sober. I'm an executive alcoholic, see, so I only start drinking after 6, and it's 1 o'clock. So I don't know, man. We'll see if we get a bit of a different fit and flavor on this show. The podcast is your home for rational crypto news and objectivity, leaving emotion at the door, talking about what we like, why we like it, and where we see it going. We are not offering financial advice. We are telling you what we do, and that is all. We don't slow down. We don't let up. Full speed is our only speed. I'm your host, Scott, pragmatic investor who has won and lost fortunes. I'm actually doing pretty good the last few days. And joining me, as always, is the greatest producer of all time, Belle. How are you doing today, Belle?
You know what? I'm having a great start to my Saturday. How are you today, Scott?
You know, it's good. I had cereal. I had frosted mini wheats for breakfast, and I was watching. I'm so desperate for sports right now. I was watching the American Cornhole League. Cornhole. That's a big Midwest sport. I
didn't know they had a league until you told me.
Everything's got a league. There's nothing. If you want to like race lawnmowers, and there's going to be a league for it somewhere here. I mean, go America. That's what we do. We do like to compete. Here at the podcast, we have a tendency to talk about what others are not talking about and bringing the focus onto use case cryptos because, as we know, these are what drive the market and bring innovation to a world that desperately needs it. The status quo, it's no longer acceptable. It's time for a technological revolution. Welcome back to crypto, and welcome back to the podcast. So, We do. We have Levana. He's over in the green room right now. That just means he's sitting there on mute. That's all it means. We don't have a separate. We're not using Restream anymore. It's the 3,000 kilobit per second. I can't stream at that, man. It's such low quality, and we don't bring a lot of value. The only thing that we do bring is a good production. So we're gonna want to stream at 12K if we can, and we are. So the production is a little better, and there you go. But yeah, we're pretty much YouTube only, right, for at least a little bit until Flix comes online. And once Flix comes online, then we'll be streaming over to Flix, and we'll just kind of wave goodbye to YouTube for a time. So Levana, we've been in talks for an awful long time, and it's nice that we finally get to hook up. I let him know immediately this is not going to be a terribly friendly interview because I'm not. I have some issues, and instead of me just sitting up here blathering, pointing out my issues, let's bring on the guys the founders of the feast, and let them address them. So one of the issues, for what it's worth, it's not a bad perp dex. The UI is pretty good. It's intuitive. The one issue that I might have had with them is that they're gonna have trouble laying off really, really large leverage positions. Take a lesson from the mob. That's probably all I got to say on this one. Whatever big bets, huge bets, monstrous bets come in, they have a tendency to lay these off to other bookies and spread it around a little bit. You don't make as much, but you also don't get your lights put out. And I'm not sure if Levana's doing that. So I guess it's a good thing that we have them on. So either they have a massive amount of liquidity that they can pay off multi-million dollar leverage positions, or they are actually laying them off somewhere and they just haven't told anybody. The other issue I kind of had with them is their token. Now, even before that thing launched, man, I was not a fan. I didn't see a point in it. I didn't understand it. And that it launched with 1 billion max supply, and currently there's only about 38 million or so in circulation. The FDV is absolutely meaningless, and the market cap is not great. It launched at a little over 50 cents. It's currently sitting at about 3 to and I think it launched somewhere in December. So to say that the performance has been underwhelming would be a little bit of an understatement. I guess my question is, what exactly is the token for? And again, it's a good reason that we have them on. But I think their big issue, what's going to come around to Levana, is that they are in fact a product. They are a consumer focused product, and you simply don't hear about them. You don't hear they're really not over on the Twitter. They're really not there's no big presence for them there. Now, I think they're falling victim to kind of a common crypto trap right now, and that's you got great tech. Your business development is a little bit meager, and your marketing budgets are just absolutely zero. Now, when you are a consumer-facing product, one of the number two on your list out of everything should be marketing. You got to get them through the door. And if nobody knows about it, nobody's coming. I mean, this is an incredibly competitive space when you're talking about perpetuals. It is an amazingly competitive space, and you've got to get out, man. You've got to get out there. You got to get in front of people. You have to do all these things, and it just doesn't seem like they've really helped themselves. Now, I'm not going to talk about their volume. I can't even see it. I mean, I did do it before they fixed any of their VPN issues, but now this is it. I'm an American, so if I go to Levana.finance, this is what I get. Unsupported region, you can't play, so sorry, but thanks for visiting. And there's really no way to get around that. The more aggressively they work on choking out any kind of VPN connections, which they're legally obligated to do, it's just Americans are gambling degenerates, huge degenerates. Perp dexes exist for the purpose of more or less of gambling, and you're not supporting a pretty big economy on that one. So it's just a lot of things that are more or less keeping me out of it. But who knows? Maybe that's why we're here. That's why we're doing this interview. Maybe that will change my mind. So with that, sir, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, fantastic. All right, man. You got the big screen. Tell us all about yourself. Tell us all about your product. The show is yours. Talk as long as you'd like.
Sure. Thank you. And thanks for, first of all, I want to thank you for all the conversations that we've had offline. You've been a big, I like the public persona, but which is, rather sharp and harsh. But on all of our previous conversations, you've been an excellent listener. You've been insightful, and you've really taken the time to just pay attention and to have conversations, and to point out areas where we can improve. So I've always appreciated kind of the difference between your public persona and how you are when we can get you one-on-one. But I'm happy to be on the show, and happy to swing with the punches as well. My name is Jonathan Karras. I am head of communications at Levana. I joined Levana about 3 years ago. I'll tell a little bit about my background, and then I'll talk about the formation of Levana, and then we can jump into a few of these questions. One is, how do you market a product? What do you do about a token? What do you do about a token within Cosmos? It's been definitely challenging kind of watching the Solana ecosystem and a few of these other, base ecosystems over the last 6 months, really have success. Whereas if you kind of look at the aggregate of everything that's happening on Cosmos over the past 6 months, it's painful. You look, but we'll talk about that, and I'll try and hit these things one at a time. So myself, I'm 41. I'm originally, married with kids, originally from Washington, D.C. I have been in technology for my whole life. I was a script kiddie in the early 90s. Grew up writing video games for, TI-83 calculators, and founded a software house for mobile-focused software development in the early 2000s, sold that, then patented a video streaming protocol, built out a company with about 84 employees, brought it to cash flow neutral, sold that, then got into crypto in 2016, after I sold the company to Snapchat. Um, and it really got into the research and fund management. And one of the main problems that I had was that most products at the time within crypto, this is like the 2017 run, were not really focused on any type of sustainable economic elements. Everything was just, we'll fundraise at the beginning, we'll have a token, people will use the token as money. And there was no sense of sustainability, and there was no sense of connection between the actual token itself and the actual product, or any type of synergistic level of growth. I worked for Starkware. I led business development there for about 2 years, brought in about 340 different companies. As a private investor, I fielded about 60 different private investments for a hedge fund called Lionstein Capital. And then I joined the Delphi incubator in 2020, end of 2020, so about almost 3.5 years ago. And that was to help bring a derivative product which became Levana, to the Terra ecosystem. So we built on Terra a number of different products under the brand Levana, both within the GameFi space and NFT space, and within the DeFi space. And we had a vision to merge these two different worlds, which did not pan out after the Terra crash. So we built American options, European options, leverage ETFs, a constant product virtual AMM, perpetual swap. And then when Terra crashed, we put all of our focus around perps, and we wanted to build a perps product that was unique in its value proposition, that solved some fundamental problems that no other perp solved. So we built, again, after the crash, from the ground up, perps that was called the well-funded perps model. Now, what this means is that you can launch bespoke products, bespoke markets, and each one of those markets, every single open order is fully funded, meaning that the collateral for the max exposure that each and every order has on the system has been calculated. So every position that's opened on Levana has a max gains and a max loss. Obviously, the max loss in terms of your collateral can be a complete wipeout. And then the max gains tied to each position is directly related to the amount of fees that are paid. So this gives a number of unique value propositions to users trading on Levana. One is that we can open up markets in many, many different types of collateral, which is impossible for applications like Hyperliquid or DYDX or Perpetual Finance or Vertex or pretty much any. There's about 84 different. If you go into DeFi Llama, you can see that there's about 84 different uh, um, perpetual swaps. And Levana, just in terms of daily volume or monthly aggregate volume, we sit in the high 30s, 40s. So we're about a mid-range perpetual swap. In terms of Cosmos, we're actually one of the most popular products on Cosmos, where we get hundreds of people that are using it every day. We've collected in the past about 9 or 10 months. I'll bring up some of the stats here. And hold on, I can't chew gum and walk at the same time. But we, you know, you had mentioned like, do we farm out some of our liquidity to other applications? Actually, no. This is one of the unique value propositions to Levana is that you can come with your wrapped Bitcoin, you can come with your Axelar Bitcoin, you can come with liquid stake derivatives like ST Atom or Milk Tia or ST Osmo, and you can actually use that instead of those liquid stake derivatives sitting in your wallet, not able to produce, not to be able to be used. You can actually use them as collateral with 100% of the value of that asset being collateral. And now that becomes a working collateral as opposed to a passive asset in your wallet, where you can go long or short with many markets up to 50x leverage with complete guarantees that there will never be insolvency in the platform. Um, and then you pay for those guarantees. So depending upon how high you want to create the leverage and how high you want to set the max gains, it will impact the total amount of positions that can be open. Right now, we've got $6 million of TVL in our liquidity pools, which is completely unincentivized or only incentivized by the fees paid by traders. Today, we've collected $3.6 million in fees, roughly 3.599. So almost $3.6 million. We've had over 24,000 unique wallets within Cosmos perform economic activity. So this isn't, people coming to the website. This is actually people putting money into the protocol. The current annualized fee revenue based on the performance of even just the last 7 days is roughly $2 million. So if we have zero growth, we'll still collect about $2 million. So that makes us not only one of the most popular applications within Cosmos, it actually makes us one of the most lucrative. We can't compete with some of the chains, which are, hyper inflating their own token and have no sense of, long-term sustainability. But in terms of just actual businesses that run within the Cosmos ecosystem that are designed to focus on profitability and on sustainability, we might be the only one. And in terms of how our traders have been trading, they've lost in aggregate. They've traded $2.86 billion on Levana over the last 10 months. So those numbers, we can't compete with some of the high frequency trading, but in terms of on chain with, 6-second or 4-second block times, it does make us one of the most popular perpetuals, not just within Cosmos, but within all of crypto. We've got a pretty robust roadmap. We've got a team that has been working within the crypto space for, on average, about, I think, 4 to 5 years per engineer. We did do formal, fundraising from VCs. So we are subject to that kind of VC, low float, high, fully diluted valuation, which is the economic model that pretty much led all of the fundraising models from, I'd say 2017 until 2022. So if you look, having 1 billion tokens really just means that essentially there's infinite tokens. It doesn't really mean that the fully diluted valuation has any, I'd say, substance to it, as you had mentioned. I totally agree with you there. But what it means is that if you look at our current market cap, which is really more reflective of how Cosmos, values us as a product, you're looking at like a few $1 million. So there's definitely some upside here, which is not financial advice. But I think that if you compare the amount of active users that we have and the amount of revenue that not only we've paid out historically, but based on current usage patterns, are entitled to the protocol, you could probably count on one hand the number of comps within the Cosmos space. So that's, happy to delve into any more details to talk a little bit more about what you can do with the Levana token, about the governance portal, which is live. Our first proposal actually came up last week, and delve into any of the specific areas about our well-funded model, some of the unique value propositions, our hyper focus on profitability and sustainability, our background of running and exiting successful businesses. So really, happy to take the conversation whatever direction you think is most valuable.
Oh, and I have some ideas. This is kind of what I do here. You mentioned cash flow neutral from some of your other companies that you've actually worked on, founded, sold, whatever, as part of business development. You seem to have a very, very impressive resume. Why are you in communications? Why are you not over on the BD side of Levana?
Communications is a great catch-all. It's usually it's the first place where people are going to come to reach out. It puts me at the front line. It makes me approachable. I led BD at Starkware for a number of years. And one of the things that I found, one of the roles that we actually created was a combination of communications and partnership. And so I felt like that had a different signaling, while at the same time had practically speaking, a very similar set of responsibilities.
Okay. So, one more question, two more maybe before we go to break. We take a break every 20 minutes for 60 seconds. So it's just for us to catch our breath, everybody get on the same page, and then we get right back to it. So you did mention cash flow neutral. What is Levana's position? Are you guys cash flow positive? Are you negative? What's your what's your explicit value? Are you guys making money? Are you losing money? What are you doing here?
Well, so the gross right now we have some of the highest yield, of real yield in all of Cosmos. So we're not cash flow neutral. We lose money every month. The operational expenses are greater than what is brought in terms of fees to the foundation. And there's a bit of soul searching which goes on the protocol at the protocol level, as to where we want to be, let's say in 18 months or 3 years, something in that time frame. There's a few things that could be done. We could lower the APRs, or the rewards that we pay come from the real yields that pay to the liquidity providers, in order to just capture more value on the protocol level. But there isn't much interest in that, especially because we did fundraise, and we do have, a solid, 18 months or so of runway. So this isn't really we feel like there still is a good swing, before we try and be, penny pinching against the LPs. And we will also have an opportunity to be able to distribute more tokens to LPs, which will sweeten the APRs, assuming that there is some type of new money or more interest coming into the Cosmos ecosystem from a macro level. Unfortunately, in this business, unlike I'd say many of the other businesses that I was a part of, the subjectivity, of macro within your certain space plays a far more significant role than necessarily the P&L or the performance of your individual product. And I think that's why if you look at, the last, like, say 3 to 6 months of, Osmo, Kajira, Tia, Dimension, Saga, you see very, very similar charts. And even though many of those projects, the actual performance, the actual P&Ls, the actual usage growth, or the delivery of new features was fundamentally different, but yet these coins all seem to trade the same. So there is a learning experience. This is the first time that most of us on the team have ever gone through the experience of actually launching or managing a token launch. So there's a lot to learn here, and we approach it with a sense of humility and recognizing that we'll have to grow and adapt over time.
Yeah, and you guys, you flatten a lot of people on your learning curve here. I don't, we, again, I don't think you guys ever really came out and addressed it, but you never hid from it either. So you just did the, it's an unmentionable kind of thing. So, all right, we verified that you're losing money, and we verified that you got about 18 months of runway. So, answer this one, and then we'll go ahead and go to break. Give me a rough idea, a rough roadmap, a rough anything that's going to kind of get you out of this hole, because the high APRs are doing you no favors. You're being farmed. That's exactly it. You are being farmed, and as long as people are at least getting close to breaking even, they'll keep farming. As soon as those APRs go down, they're out, because there's going to be 15 more of you behind them that have fresh capital, fresh roadmap, fresh runway, fresh everything that they're going to move over there to farm. I happen to like your product. I did use it. It's a good DEX. Your UI is smooth. It's intuitive. I had zero issue with it. There's nothing I can do now because I'm an American, so I can't use your product anymore, which is a shame, because if I
Could
could,
leave America. You could, the rest of the world is pretty big, and Lisboa is beautiful this time of year.
okay, we'll put a pin in that, Bell. Write that one down. Leave America so that we can use Levana. We'll go ahead and put a pin in that one. How are you going to get out of this, man? Because if the trend continues, that's it. You got 18 months, and you're gonna have to cut the APRs. When you cut the APRs, everybody's leaving, and you guys are gonna be that thing that people used to talk about, the Levana. So what kind of plan do you actually have to get out of this? We'll get into some specifics here, but this is we've opened this can of worms. So let's go ahead and delve in there and see what we got. Surely you guys are discussing this. What are you discussing?
Well, it's one of the things that's worth it, because you mentioned you're being farmed. In most cases, when you think of farming, you think of hyperinflation of the token that was either previously minted or is on an ongoing basis minted by the protocol. The fees that are being paid to our LPs are actually, they're not being paid in Levana. If you're an LP on the Bitcoin pool, you get paid in Bitcoin. If you're an LP on the one of the synthetic pools, like we've got commodities like gold and silver, we've got forex like euro, yuan, and Great British pound. So then you're paid in USDC. We if you are an LP in one of the liquid stake derivatives, you get paid those liquid stake derivatives. So it's actually just simply pass through, is that we're not taking a significant cut, or in some cases with many of the fees, we're not taking any cut. So it is, I wouldn't go so far as to say it's not doing you any favor to be farmed. I think what we're doing is building up a Lindy effect of demonstration that the protocol works, that the protocol is sustainable, that we really have something that can provide leverage for any asset. And in terms of roadmap, well, we've got the general roadmap, which is reduce the friction around onboarding. We are one of the few protocols that really takes Web 2 approach to building a good product, meaning that we analyze how many people come into the system, what was the source of the traffic, how much education did they have about the product beforehand, what were the steps for onboarding, what's our retention, what's our success rate or conversion rate in terms of getting initial users onto the protocol. And that's how, whereas most Cosmos applications fail to get above the 3 to 4,000 user mark in total, we've been able to achieve over 20,000 users, was just analyzing that. Now, we did have a setback that in December, there was an Oracle exploit on Osmosis, which negatively affected about 10% of our liquidity pool. And that really was a punch in the gut, because at the time we were doing on average about 20 to 30 million dollars of trading volume a day, and we were at that point cash flow positive. Now we're doing, about I'd say a tenth of that, on average, let's say 3 to 5 million a day. So we do need to build back up just general stability and trust, which is something that will come through improving the product, improving onboarding, and then also just staying alive. I think that, there's a healing time that needs to happen from being part of an exploit. In addition to that, of just general improving the product, we just launched governance. We spent the last 4+ months building out staking, rev share, proposal creation, proposal voting, and vesting contracts, where you can earn the vesting LVN. Which will allow us to have a much finer tuned control over the token economics, both getting a higher amount of float into the market and being able to have levers to be able to adjust the APRs in order to be able to get the top of the lists, to be able to attract both traders for incentivized trading, which was a key element of success for both Hyperliquid and DYDX. And then once you have if you really do have a product that offers a unique value proposition where certain trust assumptions can be made that can't be made on your competitors, where certain markets can be offered that can't be offered by your competitors, which in our case, Levana has both of those. Then if you can offer loss leaders in the form of token incentivizations for onboarding new customers. So that's how you get at the top of the list. That's how people start distributing their referral codes. So referral codes is part of the roadmap. And that's, I think, at least by looking at the playbooks of the top 10 players in the space in terms of the derivative markets, that's what we are optimistic will be able to bring us back to cash flow neutral and then beyond that into profitability.
So you've used the word sustainably 2 or 3 times now, and but you've also said that you're losing money month after month after month. So what does sustainable mean to you? Are you basing your sustainability on linear growth of consumers coming and using your platform? Is that
No,
kind of where you're going, or you got a different?
no, sustainable means that the product itself could run. Let's say, for example, that every person on Levana, God forbid, was hit by a meteor
Uh-huh.
instantly, and the entire foundation was shut down. The application Levana would still run. It would and the economics behind it of LPs put in money, which then provides liquidity, which has strong guarantees of solvency for traders to then be able to open and close leverage trades, 50x long or short, and then the fees that they pay incentivize LPs, and that it's on a curve that as more and more people use the markets, for trading, the fees increase, which then incentivize more LPs to come and provide liquidity, which then creates a positive flywheel effect so that larger traders can come and trade, thus creating more fees, et cetera, et cetera. And it doesn't need any type of subsidization in order to be positive, that the operational costs are covered by the expenses of the traders opening and closing positions, that the keeper bots for any off-chain activity is also independently incentivized. So the system doesn't need me. I could go bankrupt. The team could just disappear, and what still exists would still continue to exist, and LPs would still get to continue to be paid the exact same way.
All right. So one of the big outflows from your project here happens to be the team. Is that's kind of what you're saying here, right?
Absolutely. If we want to keep improving the product, then we need to focus on increasing the trading volume.
Okay. Guys, look, we ran a little bit long. Let us take a break. I'm having a ball. I don't know if you could tell. I've never done one of these sober, and I just realized how much more attention I pay to what everybody is saying on the other side.
Lies, lies. You were sober when we had Kudos on. So
Yeah, but that was also on Saturday afternoon, and that was a great interview. Anyway, guys, if you could please, 60 seconds. We're gonna talk offline here. Please get in your questions, comments, concerns. Man, we are just barely scratching the surface on this. We're gonna be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I was sober for Pete. Man, Pete's a force in nature, though, Bell. We got to get him back on. I need my kudos fixed, Bell. So anyway, I will be getting back to some of my questions, but you guys know how we are here. We're not here to talk to you. We're here to talk with you. So, Bell, if you could, please, questions, comments, concerns, observations, serve it up. You're muted.
Yeah, I know. All right. So we just have a few right now. First comment coming in from Jack Sparrow. Can't speak for Levana, but being in tech, your resume is very good in general, regardless of age.
Thank you. I don't think that was, yeah, it wasn't a question, but I'll take it.
Yeah, it's a positive, dude. Just put it on their board. A smiley face. Go ahead, Bell.
Loo the 13th. How can Levana bring value to Secret?
Ouch.
Ooh, so we actually have a proposal to for the secret community pool to kickstart a secret trading market with, I think it's like $100,000 worth of secret. That would be initially run on osmosis because that's the lowest amount of overhead. And then assuming that the secret community is interested in leverage trading, it would be very interesting to be able to take the CosmWasm smart contracts, actually deploy them onto Secret, and then have secret perps. I haven't seen anybody else do secret perps. In general, I haven't seen privacy really play the critical role that I once thought that it was. I was a big fan of when the Mimblewimble paper was written, and Beam came out. I was very interested in that. I originally got into algorithmic stablecoins through Haven, which was merge mined with Monero. Very similar model to Terra and Luna. But it seemed that over time, privacy ended up not taking the spotlight within user attention that it probably should have, given the direction that the world is going in.
And I don't see. I don't think it ever will. Now, deep libertarian all the way down. All right, my business should be my business. I don't hide from that. But you have to look at this as a kind of a gross numbers thing. Privacy is not. It's a feature of Secret Network, but they turned around and made it the entirety of the product. So you already took a niche community like crypto and you made it even more niche. The people who really, really, really want to get down there and start slavering about all this stuff. And that's what you did. So instead of appealing to, say, 80% of the crypto world, you're appealing to about 6. And it's just, from a BD standpoint, man, you've just limited your market to a very, very small amount of very, devout followers, but you're not going to get the growth that you were expecting out of it. And
there's also a messaging challenge that people think that because of the pseudo anonymity associated with the rest of the crypto market, it's the value proposition of Secret is almost like hidden. People think, oh, well, Bitcoin's anonymous. That's part of the opposition's narrative. Is like, oh, Bitcoin is bad because it allows for terrorists to do all kinds of evil things. So you're also just competing from a messaging perspective with the general crypto space.
well, because they're messaging it wrong. Again, the privacy element, and it is Secret is one of the few that actually offers that. A blockchain, a ledger, by definition, is not private. It is open to the entire world. I mean, it is the exact opposite of private. So yes, you can go to something like Secret and actually get that anonymity, but it's very, very difficult to message that to people who simply don't even understand the very basics of blockchain. The fact that if I have your wallet address, I can see everything you did until you wind up someplace like Secret, and then I can't see any of it. But you're already talking about you have to educate people before you can even get that message out. It is just, from a marketing standpoint, you're piling just stacks on stacks on stacks to try to get to the nut, and it's virtually, I mean, it's incredibly difficult. I wouldn't take that on. Bell and I do. Bell and I we moonlight marketing, and I would not take that one on. I simply wouldn't. I would focus on the products that are there, and you let privacy just kind of be the cherry on top. But it is not the Sunday. The Sunday is that we have fast block time. The Sunday is that look at all the products that we offer. Look at all the things you can do. That's the product. Levana is going to be in the same. You guys are kind of in the same batch in that you don't actually market your product. You market all of the features of it, but you don't actually market the product. It's a gambling site. That's what you are. Appeal to that market. That's anyway. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Carry on, Bill.
All right, so Microman, and actually, I'm gonna sum up Microman's question right after I ask it. As someone who doesn't have much free capital and has never leverage traded, how would you sell Levana to me? What risks would I be exposing myself to as I learn? In other words, sell me this pen.
Well, there's two different things that you can do. You can decide to be, and I'll use the analogy here that Scott came up with, that you can decide to play the casino or decide to play the house when you come to Levana. So if you've got $100, which is maybe a lot of money to you, may not be a lot of money to you, but let's just assume that $100 is what you can go to Vegas and play with. So you can show up at Levana and you can say, you know what, I want to play on the tables. So we've got 45 tables, we've got 45 different markets roughly. We've got a wide variety. We've got crypto, we've got commodities, we've got Forex, we've got liquid stake derivatives. You can keep it simple with your Bitcoin, or you can go funky with Chinese yuan and everything in the middle. And then you can decide, okay, I want to have 10x leverage. I don't want to be playing with just $100. I want to be playing as if I was a whale with $1,000. And what Levana does to enable you to protect yourself is you can set very tight take profits and stop losses, and it's all on chain. So you could say, okay, I want that 10x leverage or that 20x leverage. And if I make like 2-3% profit, automatically close my position. Let me just ring the cash register and just take that extra $10 home. Because if you have 10% leverage, if you have a 2% stop loss with 10x leverage, so if that thing goes up 2%, you just made 20% profit. So that's nuts. There's no other place that you can get that in the spot market. You could sit and you can try and trade all day on Osmosis or some other AMM, and you're never going to see those instant returns. Now you might be saying, well, that's what about the risks? So what's nice is that Levana automatically has the stop losses as well. So you could say, if it goes in opposite of me 1%, close my position. So you're going to prevent yourself from getting these wipeouts, and you're going to guarantee that if you did bet in the right direction, you're going to ring the cash register and get that money home. So it's actually a perfect tool for somebody that's just coming to the table with $100, because you can make these calculated bets, and you can even daisy chain them. You could say, okay, if it goes up, I'm just going to put $50 down. If it goes up, close my position. Once it goes up, open up a position. And then when it goes back down, I want to make money on the short end. So you can try and ride these waves if you feel like you've got any indication as to how the market is going to move in the future based on previous performance, which is a very hard thing to do, but many people attempt to do it. And even within the Levana user interface, you can draw on all of the charts to try and do some technical analysis, and you can actually save them, and then you can export them and then put them, it's compatible with TradingView. So you can actually go onto Telegram groups or to Discord groups and try and see if your signals match up with other people's signals, or even import other signals that you might get from paid groups or free groups, and then drop them right onto the UI of Levana because it's compatible. You might also come and tell me, I don't got time for any of that stuff. I'm not interested. And you know what I'd say to you is that you're actually probably right. If you look at the stats, most people lose while trading. Most people think that they've got an edge, but it's like something my father told me when we were traveling. He said, anytime that you're in a casino, pay attention to the carpet on the casino. and look at how fancy that carpet is. And ask yourself, who paid for that carpet? Well, it was the traders who paid for it because a casino is a business, which means that most people have to lose money in order for that business to stay, to stay in profit, to stay with the lights on. So you might say, I don't actually want to trade. I don't want to get into any of that technical analysis, those stop losses and those, those take profits. Let me just be the house. And so Levana offers an earn section where you actually get to be the house, and there's a very comprehensive analysis for each individual market. Levana is the only platform where you can actually pick each individual market that you want to play the house on. So you could come and you could say, look at the last 30 days or 7 days of the Solana market. Let's look at the Solana traders. Solana has been trading like crazy volatility, and traders are just getting wrecked. So you can see both the APRs that have been paid out by traders. You can see the actual P&L of all the liquidity pools. You can see the volatility, the Sharpe ratio, and you can see the real actual return on investment. If I had $100 and I had put it in 30 days ago, what would I actually have today? So all of that is very easily discernible on the earn section of Levana, designed so that you, as a guy with $100 in your pocket, can come and look at all the different markets and try and make an informed decision.
All right, carry on, Bill.
G Torres, how many Levana tokens will be released 1 year from today, including vesting, airdrops, etc.?
Actually, I think I've got a spreadsheet that will tell me that. So let me uh token. It's actually, this is public information, which is available on the token economics doc, which is pinned on Discord. But just to pull it up right here. So where are we? Right now, I don't have the months here, so I actually have to count it out. We're 6 months from launch. So we're going. So 6 months from launch, there are um there are unlocked today 134 million tokens, which, because farming didn't kick off, so the emissions of those, only about less than half of those came into market. There's roughly about 55 million tokens that have left the Genesis wallet. So I can tell you the max amount of tokens that will be available. What was the time frame? 6 months from now?
1 year from today.
1 year
So
from today.
June 22nd,
6 months.
2025.
Got it. So the max amount of tokens that can be taken out of the contracts is an additional is about 3 times the current the current unlocked tokens. So it's a 315 million would be unlockable. So that's the max amount. So today it's 130. A year from now it will be 300.
Okay, so I'm gonna flash up the screen. So again, currently, since your launch, you're currently sitting at .03228. I love when you have to go 5 digits because we went into single-digit territory. So if we 3x that and nobody buys it, where's the price of Levana gonna be?
Well, it depends. You're saying everybody sells it
Yep,
and nobody buys it.
yep.
So I don't know because I guess it would drop, it wouldn't drop linearly. It would drop on some type of logarithmic curve. So I guess it would probably, if you 3x it, it probably drops by an order of magnitude. Does that sound about right?
It's That sounds
Yeah, I
about
don't,
right. So you're gonna be sitting at
yeah.
about a penny. All right, we'll get back to the questions, but as long as we're talking about the Levana token, let's go ahead and talk about the Levana token. What would you say that the token does?
Well, the token is the ability to be able to transfer ownership from the Levana Foundation to an active community, which would oversee the future of the protocol, which is designed to occur over a 3-year time frame, which we're about 6 months into. So what it does today is you can go to the governance portal, gov.levana.finance. You can create, you can stake, you can create a proposal, or you can receive distributions when distributions are distributed. Today, there's only one proposal because it just launched last week. So there's only one proposal that's live, which is for a distribution of Bitcoin from the community treasury. This is a proposal 0. So there were only 3 people that were deposited into it. And so we're optimistic. The cadence we're targeting is about a proposal a week. So the potential for a distribution about once a week. And it is, if you play with the UI for proposals, you'll be able to see that not only LVN can be distributed, which is how most distributions or earnings work of governance tokens, but actually the whole idea, which is hyperinflationary, and then obviously the music comes to a stop, when the treasury doesn't have any more tokens. So the actual focus is not around the distribution of LVN tokens, but rather of the protocol fees which are collected in other tokens such as Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Okay, so it's gas and governance. Is that about right?
Well, it's not gas because we're not our own chain
So it's
because
just
nobody wants.
governance.
So yeah, so it's governance. It's governance, and then governance can enable other utilities around it, like fee discounts, and using it for high stake other forms of prediction markets. So those are the things that we're most excited to see in terms of new features, but really to have it as a means of distributing governance rights of the protocol to ensure that when the foundation sunsets, which again is designed over a 3-year process, that there is an active community which can perform the similar functions as to what the foundation has done to date.
Okay, carry on, Bill.
All right, last question for the moment, coming in from Nuclear Chicken. Levana restricts from US customers, but you mentioned payouts in USDC. Are there any compliance issues by using a USD stable token as a USD equivalent when it comes to US regulators?
I'm definitely not. I would talk to before participating when you travel to other countries, I would definitely talk to whatever your council is in the jurisdiction that you're a part of before you use Levana. It's definitely important to review the terms of service and then to make sure that you're not violating any local regulatory rules based on whatever place that you happen to be located at.
Okay, so Americans, you're probably not going to be using Levana. It is what it is, man. And most people, your average crypto investor and your average crypto world traveler doesn't really have counsel. They don't really have somebody in their pocket. Well, I'm going to call my lawyer before I use this perp deck. So I think you're going to be
Well, it
restricted.
wouldn't be just for
And
Levana. It would be
and
using
and
any DeFi protocol. You should contact your local, you should be familiar. Nobody wants to break laws and go to jail and things like that. So before you use Uniswap, before you use a Bitcoin wallet, you should check, am I violating any local laws with that?
Yeah.
And Nuclear Chicken is actually clarifying and stressing this point. He says, I meant regulatory issues for Levana, not me as the user.
Um, it is for using USDC. I'm not aware of any such thing. That was never brought up in any conversation that I've been a part of. Maybe if you're familiar with it or your council has some novel innovation, but as far as as far as I understand, it is USDC is an international product.
Okay. Well, we'll get back to whatever's left, man. But we got about 10 minutes left, so let's go ahead and talk up where I see one of your guys' big problems as. What's your marketing budget?
Marketing budget is you're watching it right now. I come and I ask a guy like you if he would punch me in the face on camera.
Okay. Have you ever heard of Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas?
Absolutely. Yep,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's a place where people go to gamble and do sports betting and sports book and basically if you can something you want to bet on, odds are good they'll take your action. So to this day, Caesar's Palace still advertises. They're everywhere. The Mirage still advertises. All of I saw a commercial.
Coca-Cola advertises and everybody knows what Coca-Cola tastes like. Yep.
Yes. So considering that you guys make your money on action, People coming on, using the decks, and it doesn't seem like you're doing any kind of real outreach to try to reach those people. Do you not see this as a little bit of a fundamental flaw, or how do you intend to hit really, really get some velocity going your way if you are simply not advertising your product? And there's lots of different ways to do it. Obviously, this is one way. We're not a good example because we're a very rational crypto show, and we don't pack them in. If I want to come up here and talk about, yeah, you got to buy this now, man, it's going to 10x, we do much better, but we also have souls and conscience. So we don't do any of those things. So it just seems to me that you need to establish some kind of marketing budget. And I don't know what your community manager is doing. Are you also acting as the role of community manager? Are you the Twitter guy?
We have the Twitter handle is multiplied by is operated by multiple people, and we do have a dedicated social manager.
I don't see a lot of Levana tweets. I guess that's kind of where I'm going with that. So, and I follow 18 people. You're actually one of them. And I don't see a whole hell of a lot of Levana tweets. I like to see what's going on, man. I'm not just going to come up here and throw cold water on people. I'd like to offer solutions. You guys have a problem. All right, you have a problem. One problem is going to be is your runway. I'm indifferent to the token because I can use your protocol without using the token. I'm indifferent to it. I don't think that thing is ever really going to take off. I understand why you're doing it. I understand what it's for. I'm just not a real big fan of governance, particularly because I don't know where all those tokens are. Can the Levana team, can you guys vote tokens? Can you vote your own wallets?
So we can't receive rewards.
No, but can you vote on governance with the tokens in your wallets?
Currently, no, but that hasn't. But it is possible to update the governance contracts so that that would be yes.
Say,
But currently at the moment, no.
And in that case, you can carry every vote. It doesn't really matter. Now, decentralization and particularly decentralization of governance is always thrown around, and they're more or less buzzwords. Your top 10 I know you guys are an app. You're not validator chain. If you were an L1, you would be gone. You wouldn't be here anymore. It's a tough market, man. It is what it is. Validator sets are very, very expensive. But I'm not even that kind of really huge fan of the decentralized governance because deep down, there's always mechanisms in place for founders and devs and everyone to be able to basically carry any vote, whether it be through a traditional L1 where you just threaten any of your validators that you gave Genesis delegations to. You just make sure that they're going to vote the way that you want them to vote. It is what it is, man. All right. Crypto is as corrupt as everything else. But
yeah, there's absolutely a lot of kangaroo courts and theatrical governance.
sure. And like I said, it's governance in name only, but it's really not. Whatever needs to be carried is going to be carried, and it's going to be from a single person's viewpoint. But I honestly, look, you got to get people in the door, man. And the only way you're going to get people in the door is if they know about you. We have been talking about Levana. The podcast right here have been talking about Levana, and even our people are not real sure what all goes on over there. So it's really not on us. Now, one of the other kind of, I don't know, call it foible or something like that in the crypto, is that people are big fans of community contributors. Now, that is kind of a double-edged sword. One, the content's not going to be that good. It just isn't. People are not terribly vested in it. They'll do it for views. They'll see, oh, I don't get no views. Okay, they're done, and they're going to move on. And it is one way. And the other way is that you're going to get people like me that are just going to ride your back all the way all the way down because bad news sells better than good news. So you guys are going to have to aggressively market. And I mean, like I said, I know right now by your own admission that you're losing money. You got about 18 months of runway that you're going to be able to continue to pull this out. And the market is not very, very positive right now. But if there's two things that you should never, ever lose money in, ever. One of them is adult entertainment. You should never, ever lose money in adult entertainment. It is 100% a slam dunk. And the other thing that you should never lose money in is gambling. But for somehow you guys are managing to do that. So are you going to hit that soul-searching point and say, okay, how do we get ourselves out of this? Personally, again, my opinion, market, you get it out, you get it up, you focus on the positive, and you repetition, repetition, repetition. You get it out. You dare people not to go. You offer incentives. You offer giveaways, not crypto incentives, because you're going to get the same people coming over farming your LPs, and they're going to move over. They're not farmers that they're growing crops, letting the ground heal, growing crops again. They're locusts. They're going to come over there and they're going to suck every bit of organic material out of it, and then they're going to move to the next field. That is crypto. So if you don't have that really, really vested community that wants to see you succeed, that is getting a little piece of it because they're helping you, then great. But the whole community contributor method, man, that ain't going to play anymore, all right? Those days have moved on as well. Views on YouTube everywhere across the board universally are down. So you're going to have to think about a new way of doing this. You're going to have to think about a new way of getting out there. I don't know. That's just the way I see it. Belle, what do you think on this? Are you just going to leave me out here flapping?
I think we're gonna have to wait and see what happens. I think the narrative is changing, and I mean, sometimes you have to take a step back and take another look and go, okay, the dynamic's changing. What do I need to change about what I'm doing to fit what people are currently wanting?
But Levana is not a narrative. Levana is an actual product. And that's kind of
Levana is an actual product, but again, people's mindsets are changing in the space itself, so that needs to be taken into consideration too.
well, and I think that's also a failure on the part of basically all of us, is that we're out there too busy chasing narratives as opposed to building products and actually getting them stood up. I'm a fan. I'm not a fan of their token. I don't see any use for the Levana token. I'm not a big fan of governance like that. I don't care. I called it a cash grab when it launched. It absolutely tanked. I haven't changed my opinion on that, and our guest didn't really change my opinion on that either. I have no interest in the token, but I want to. If there's an opportunity to be profitable in something, I want to be in that something. They are actually a
So
product.
come and drop. You have some Bitcoin? Come put some Bitcoin in the Bitcoin pools. You can see the profitability that people got over the last 7 or 30 days.
What was the APR that you paid out in the Bitcoin pools?
Let me check. I will, let's see if I can get it up.
Boy, I
These-
thought you would have had that ready, man. As soon as you came in,
Yeah.
talk about Bitcoin. What's the APR? I don't know yet.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's I should have that. But I don't have it on hand. But I'd rather get you real numbers than just pull a number out of my ass.
Okay, if you could do us a huge favor, just drop the number to Belle, myself, or the podcast Discord, and I'm sure that everybody's going to be very, very interested in that. Belle, do we got any other questions or comments? Because we're coming to the end.
We have a massive 2 more. So
right, take it away.
First one coming in from Mad Scientist. So they are the baby Adam regarding Levana.
Ouch.
Or the
Yeah, I know
big
where he was going
Adam?
with that. Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Adam has no use case. There's no use case to Adam. As far as, for the whole replicated security and all that, it was a failed model. It was a failed idea that they actually became a model. And anybody who's using that is just grossly overpaying for security. Adam by itself really does nothing. It has no use case whatsoever. It does nothing. It's for voting on Adam props. And it seems like Levana is for voting on Levana props. So baby Adam, that's where he was going with that.
Well, I think the difference is that if people pay fees to use Levana, and then those fees can go to Levana stakers, then that's a reason why people would want to own the Levana token. I'm not sure there's an equivalent narrative within Atom.
What's your
because-
staking? What's your staking APR?
Staking APR right now with our one proposal or distribution that's live.
Sure.
Let's see. Because it's all real yields. You're not
Sure.
earning from. So APR right now.
Yeah, Kajira is
19.8%.
19.8%, and that is also paid out in the Levana token, correct?
No, it's not. Right
What's
now
it
it's
paid
just
out in?
Bitcoin.
It's paid out in Bitcoin?
That's right.
All
That's
right.
what it is right now.
You
Yeah.
got my attention. Carry on, Bill.
Last question coming in from Nuclear Chicken. You mentioned a governance transition from the foundation to the token holders. When will this be complete, as in fully transitioned?
Please God, within the next 3 years. That's the goal, or the next 2.5 years. It's we don't have any good models. We haven't found any team since besides Bitcoin that's ever succeeded in doing this. But it is the goal to I guess be the second project to ever succeed at this.
Fantastic. All right, Belle, is that all we got?
That's all we've got.
All right, guys. So yeah, we've been tap dancing around this interview for a while. I would like a little verbal acknowledgement that I was not too harsh. All right, I
No,
could
you were great.
could
You said you were going to come in with hard questions. There wasn't a single hard question.
no, I was being kind on here. I feel bad for you guys. I really do.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Not for the reason that you think. I want to support products, things that are actually out, things that exist, not things that are theoretical or that you have to abstract away 900 different things to actually find out what it is supposed to do. I want to support products, and Levana is a product. I see a couple of very, very big, gaping, fundamental flaws, and a couple of them that we just discussed, but they're fixable. They are fixable flaws.
And Scott, as I mentioned, you and I chatted on chat before. So you should come and do marketing. Well, you should work with us. You got great insight, you're entertaining, you're a good communicator, you've got a clear vision for what needs to be done, just let's figure out how to make it work.
I do. Are you going to pay us?
Absolutely.
Okay, how much? Let's hack it out right now.
I don't know. What's your tell me what your rate sheet is. And then we've got a team meeting on Monday. We can shuffle around the budget.
We can certainly discuss it. Understand that whether I'm paid or not, I'm still going to address the flaws because I got to be honest. I got to be honest with
we
my
don't
people.
need a yes.
No,
we don't need a
you
yes,
don't.
man.
Right now,
No.
what you actually need is hard love because
Exactly.
you guys are right there. But you're going to have to get out of the crypto thought world and get into the consumer world, and it just seems like
Exactly.
you haven't taken that step yet. All right.
Exactly.
Anyway, go ahead, sir. Talk it up. Take your time. Whatever you got to get out, go ahead and get out. We'll turn it over to Belle. She'll talk us up and talk us out.
So I think that this was a great interview. I really appreciate the time that you guys took. The main goal is if you want to get involved with Levana, if you're curious about it, go to trade.levana.finance, join our Discord, meet some of the other community members, look at our markets, decide whether you want to be a trader, whether you want to be an LP. You might think that the token is worthless, like Scott does. You might think that there's value to governance, there's value to getting paid APR in tokens other than the self-referential staking reward style that every other project has. The nice thing is that there's no minimum involvement with Levana as long as I think there's a $5 minimum trade size to prevent spam. So play with it and share some feedback. We really take to heart the reason why we've got a good product, the reason why we're one of the most popular apps within Cosmos, which again doesn't really mean success because the bar is pretty low in Cosmos. But the reason that we are so successful is because we listen to what you have to say. So if you come and you say like you guys suck, then we're not going to be like, well, F you. We're going to say, okay, tell me more. How can we do better? Because really, we're here to build something awesome.
Okay,
So
and I'm going to give it back to Belle, but I do got one question I can ask you right now. Do you guys have a test net that doesn't require a VPN connection?
yes, we do.
Perfect. Please, if you
yep.
could, get Belle the link. We're going to post it out. That is something that I can actually use because we've been talking about this for a long time, Belle, actually doing some educational leverage type videos. I do like Levana's UI. I think it's fantastic. But if I can't do it behind a VPN, but if you got a test net, hey, it's just for fun. It's just for education, just for information, just for entertainment. I like all those things. Anyway, Belle, please talk us up, talk us out.
All right, again, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who took time out of your busy Saturday to join us for this live stream this afternoon, We cannot thank you guys enough. You guys did throw some fantastic comments and questions our way, and we sincerely appreciate that. Now, with that being said, Scott and I are going to be back on Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central Standard for our normal evening live stream. In between now and Tuesday night, if you guys have any other comments, questions, or concerns, definitely don't hesitate to reach out to Scott or myself, Scott at thepodcast.com or Bella at thepodcast.com, and we'll get those answered for you. Again, we can't thank you enough, guys, and we'll see you Tuesday.
We are dropping new videos and podcasts every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And be sure to look for us on Instagram, Twitter, and Parler at ThePodocasts. Also, visit our page at ThePodocasts.com, all one word, for all of our most current content.